As I wake up to the sound of my alarm, I'm overcome with a sense of dread. I know that I have to start my day, but the thought of facing the outside world and all of its stressors fills me with fear. I barely force myself to get out of bed, avoiding looking at myself in the mirror as I jump in the shower and I get dressed. I don't have an appetite, so I skip breakfast. I head out to work. My palms are sweaty. My heart is racing. I have a hard time concentrating and interacting with my colleagues and classmates. My thoughts are consumed with worry and fear. I try to push through the day, but it feels like an endless cycle of anxious thoughts and physical symptoms. Lunchtime rolls around and I skip lunch. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be by myself. I continue to struggle the rest of the day, counting down the minutes until I can go home, close my blinds, get under my covers, and escape the overwhelming stress. I just want to be left alone. I finally make it home, but my relief is short-lived. I can't relax and instead spend the evening pacing, ruminating on my anxious thoughts and avoiding activities that might bring me joy. I don't eat dinner and I go to bed exhausted, malnourished, but unable to fall asleep due to the racing thoughts in my head. I realize that I'm not taking care of my mental health and that my anxiety is getting worse. But the thought of making changes and taking care of myself feels overwhelming, and I can't bring myself to do it. This is a typical day for me, and it is a cycle that repeats itself day after day after day after day, leaving me trapped, helpless, and alone. As I wake up to the sound of the alarm, I'm overcome with a sense of dread. I know that I have to start my day, but the thought of facing the outside world fills me with fear. But I remind myself to take care of my mental health today, and I force myself to get out of bed. I take a moment to look at myself in the mirror and I give myself a little bit of a pep talk. I remind myself that I am strong and I can handle whatever the day throws at me. I take my time in the shower, focusing on the sensation of the water on my skin, and take some deep breaths. I sit down, eat a healthy breakfast, and make an effort to enjoy my meal. I know that nourishing my body is an important part of taking care of my mental health. I take responsibility for my mental health and I start my day with 10 minutes of reading. This allows me to prime my mind for success. After 10 minutes of reading, I set a timer on my watch for 15 minutes. I close my eyes and I meditate. As I head out to work, I remind myself to stay positive and take things one step at a time. Throughout the day, I make an effort to interact with my colleagues, and I take small breaks to breathe and remind myself to stay positive and to stay present. I focus on this moment and try not to let my thoughts wander off into the future. During lunch, I sit with my friends and I enjoy my meal. I make an effort to laugh and have fun, and I remind myself that social interactions are an important part of taking care of my mental health. After work, I head to the gym. And as I exercise, I focus on the present moment and I take deep breaths. I feel the physical and mental benefits of working out, and I'm reminded that taking care of my body is an important part of taking care of my mental health. I get home, and as I get home, I get into bed. I'm relaxed. I'm calm. I remind myself that I've taken care of my mental health today, and I am proud of myself for doing so. I close my eyes, feeling empowered and in control and ready to face whatever tomorrow may bring. It's easy to blame our anxiety for our problems or to use it as an excuse for our failures. But the truth is, if we want to change our life, then we need to accept responsibility for the choices that we're making on a day-to-day basis. We have to accept responsibility that we're in full control of our own mental health. See, when we can accept responsibility for our mental health, we give ourselves the power to make better choices that will lead to healthier outcomes. We no longer become victims of circumstance, but we become architects of our future. We, as a collective, need to make the decision that we're no longer going to blame our anxiety for why we're not where we want to be. Now, taking responsibility for your own life means that you take responsibility for your mental state, means that if you're anxious, you need to do something about it. Anxiety is very real, but what you do about it is also real. Go to the gym, move your body, meditate, and take care of your mental health. If you're feeling stuck and anxious, I want you to understand that you have the ability to shift the trajectory of your day, and it starts right now. Get up, move your body, go to the gym.